You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the
Good morning. I'm watching the comments come in. Thank you for being with me this morning. Thank you for joining me this morning. I'm grateful for that. I see comments are coming in. I will get to those in a minute. Listen, welcome. Thank you for joining me this morning. I am excited about today's topic because it actually came from one of you. Someone who watched these live videos on Mondays and Thursdays. You reached out to me and wanted to have a conversation about your career, and this topic came up and you asked me to address it. So, let's jump in. How's that for a teaser? This morning, two simple questions for you. Are you someone who over apologizes? Or maybe you're someone you just use apology words as filler words in sentences. And I'm going to explain that one in just a moment. Maybe you're a hybrid of one of those. You just use the apologies this, I'm sorry that, just sort of throwaway lines. Regardless of where you may fall on that spectrum, or if you're not sure if you fall into one of those two buckets, this morning we are going to talk about how to stop apologizing with one simple solution. Seriously, it is one word that I'm going to give you here in a moment that will fix whether you're an over apologizer or whether you are someone who just uses filler words, apology words as filler words in your sentences when you're speaking or when you're emailing or whatever form of communication you are using. But first, if you are new to these videos, I'm Cicely, and I love joining you. I love you joining me twice a week here for these coaching videos. I am basically giving you the strategies I've used in my career in the legal field, business, and politics to help you accelerate your career growth. So, with that, no more wasting time. We're going to jump into this morning. I see a bunch of topics are coming in. Comments are coming in. I'm going to get to those. Actually, there's some really great ones coming in that I'm looking at. I'm going to get to those in a minute. But let's walk through this. If you have a pen and paper, grab it. If not, screenshot what I'm about to tell you, because I'm going to give you basically what not to do. And so the don'ts and the do's. So screenshot this if you don't have a pen and paper to write it down. But these are your buzzwords. So how do you know if you're over apologizing? How do you know if you use apology words as filler words? These are your buzzwords right here. These are the ones that when this comes to the tip of your tongue, time out. You want to stop yourself in the moment before you say, I'm sorry. My apologies is the one I see a lot in emails. My apologies is emails late. My apologies for a delayed response. Look, I fall into that same habit. But that's a filler word. Just say the email's late. Just say, hey, here's my delayed response. Or, hey, just saw this. Whatever that may be, the I'm sorry, my apologies can either be over apologizing or just you using those words as filler words. Regardless, both will undermine your credibility. Now, I apologize. I'm going to give you a caveat here, so listen up for this one. Listen, if you've been a jerk to somebody, maybe you lost your temper, maybe things got heated on a Zoom call, in a meeting, okay. If you've been a jerk to somebody and you're kind of feeling bad, that's the one situation where you should apologize. I coached someone through that last night. You should apologize in that one situation. But again, if you say the word I apologize is just a filler word, or you constantly hear yourself saying it throughout the day, that's the distinction we are making about over apologizing. Okay. So these are the words you're going to avoid. I'm sorry. Apologies. My apologies. I apologize. Any form of that is over apologizing. And look, count how many times you apologize during the day. That's going to tell you if you are an apologist, if you're an over apologizer. Okay, so I'm not gonna belabor this point. You have these words. I see a lot of great comments coming in. We're going to get to. So you have these words here. These are our buzzwords we're going to avoid. All right, let's talk about the opposite of that and what we're actually going to focus on this morning. And listen, this is where I am basically, I mean, like I said, I'm excited about this because people have reached out to me about it, but also these are the kind of tips and secrets you can use in your career, and it's just golden. So we still have our buzzwords to avoid on the left, right? The I'm sorry, the my apologies, I apologize. Here's where we're going to focus. Here is your one word simple solution: acknowledgement. When you feel the need to say I'm sorry, turn it into an acknowledgement. So again, use that email example. When you usually say, oh, I'm sorry this email is delayed, or apologies, this email is delayed, just say, hey, I acknowledge I'm getting back to you late. I acknowledge I may have missed this. Take the words I'm sorry, take the words apologies, take the word replace all of those with an acknowledgement. You can just simply say, yeah, hey, listen, here's the email I owe you. Just say it. Just acknowledge it. There's no need for the I'm sorries and the apologies and the filler words, because it does come across as though you are someone who is over apologizing. Again, undermining your credibility. Turn the I'm sorry into an acknowledgement and just acknowledge whatever you think you're apologizing for and move on. Now, you may say, you may kind of think, well, how does that work? Try it. And you'll see I have at the bottom here, just say it. Just acknowledge and move on. But take the words, I'm sorry, my apologies, I apologize, unless you've been a jerk. Take those out of your vocabulary and just acknowledge. Acknowledgement still gives you the same effect. You're still saying, hey, this email's late, or I didn't get to you, or you're acknowledging the same point. You're taking the filler words and the apology words that are undermining your credibility out of the conversation. So let's turn apologizing into acknowledgement, and acknowledgement helps you preserve that credibility versus someone who people are tired of hearing you apologize. All right, I am seeing a ton of comments coming in. If you're watching this, sorry, I'm in the middle obstructing your screenshot. Take a screenshot of this, write this down, right? These are your buzzwords to avoid. This is your solution. So again, when you feel I'm sorry on the tip of your tongue, don't say it. When you feel the my apologies or apologies on the tip of your tongue, or you're typing it, delete, 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 delete. You want to go with the acknowledgement, and the acknowledgement still has the same effect, but it prevents you from being seen as an over apologist. All right, I am going to scroll back up here and come out of this screen for a moment. Look at our comments. Chris is here and ready. Good morning, Chris. Thank you for being here. Stephanie, here for your brilliance. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate you being here this morning. Eileen is here every Monday and Thursday. It is Thursday morning. Looking forward to my topic. Thank you, Eileen. Judy, love the music. You know what? That music just makes me happy too. I'm all about that. And if you guys listen to the words of that, it's what we're doing here in these lives. Come out of the shadows. It's time to find your voice. It's time for you to find your place at the table, as someone said to me last night. They actually repeated my words back to me, which I kind of loved. Randy's here. Good morning, Randy. Good to see you. Melissa's here this morning. All right, we've got a bunch of folks who've jumped in. I appreciate everybody being here. All right, Randy says, I absolutely apologize too much, and my daughter does it even more. Yeah, listen, when it's kind of brought to your attention, Randy, we kind of realize it. But until then, we kind of have to have it pointed out to us. And the one of the things I really teach my clients in our coaching program um, every week is know how you land on people. Well, this is one of those know how you land on people moments, because you may think it's no big deal, but how you are being perceived in that moment is the piece where the apologizing undermines your credibility. Melissa says, this is a great topic. Oh, you were just talking about this with your son and a client. Melissa, I think you said that to me a couple of weeks ago in one of the lives, that we were channeling each other and having the same conversation. So that's Chris, what a great topic. I'm Canadian. It's part of our culture. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I don't think I knew that. Then you know what? If it's part of the culture, it may be a little tougher to break away, but nevertheless, Stephanie, I hope that helps. Melissa, thanks for the screenshot. I always say apologies are only for bloodshed or broken bones. Maybe I'll screenshot that quote. That's great, Melissa. I love that. Yeah, leave the apologies for where it's actually needed. Yep, if you're an apologist, that's the term we're using this morning. You got to get away from it. Um, oh, interesting. Melissa says apologizing only benefits the apologizer. Okay, I love that. Very true, by the way. You're the only one who's feeling better by apologizing, over apologizing, not your audience. Randy, I love the idea of counting for a day how many times we use these words. Chris, good morning. I hear people often saying my bad. I believe that falls into the same category of this discussion. Absolutely. I hear my bad all the time as well, and that absolutely falls in the same bucket of buzzwords to avoid. So, Chris, that is a great point. There are lots of buzzwords we can put in there on the avoid list. My bad certainly fits there. There are several others. So if you know what those are, or now that you're thinking about them because we're talking about them this morning, then yeah, add those to the list of buzzwords to avoid. Eileen, this is incredibly useful information, not only for my business, but for everything in our lives. You know what, Eileen, that is such a great point. I actually see this a lot for my clients. People in emails who, I apologize, I'm sorry, or my apologies, or I see all kinds of variations from this, which is actually when the person brought this to my attention in the lives, it actually kind of resonated with me because I do see it a lot. And I try to prevent myself from falling into those patterns because I see them in my inbox, or they happen on calls with my lobbying clients every day. And so I'm trying to prevent myself from falling into some of those habits. So I agree. This is good for business. This is good for business. And yep, self-advocacy rocks. Love using acknowledgement. Yeah, Judy, that's the piece that I have found that really, it gives you something to say because you want something to put in that spot. So acknowledging it sort of solves that problem. And that's why it truly is a one-word solution. Replace apologizing with acknowledgement, and it's going to work every time. Morning, Claudia. Claudia says, I'm guilty of this. We all are. Absolutely, we all are. Chris, I feel like I like these solution statements. It feels more empowering. Yeah, let's turn apologizing into empowerment, Chris. We are, I love that. Wow, so many people think apologizing helps the relationship, but actually undermines credibility. Well said, Randy. I completely agree with that. Chris has a question. Cicely, can you address swapping apologizing for gratitude? For example, instead of apologizing for not responding to an email in a timely manner, saying, thank you for your patience in my reply. Chris, that is a great, I would put that under the acknowledgement category, the gratitude. Thank you for your patience. Absolutely. I think that is I'm going to leave that on the screen so people can see that. Yeah, thank you for your patience in my reply is I think, Chris, gratitude is also an acknowledgement. I think those two can be one and the same. So I would very much put that on on the right side of the screen where we had our acknowledgement words. I think asking for patience, gratitude, again, you're acknowledging, hey, my reply's late, and thank you for your patience with my reply. So Chris, that's a great point. I think that is one we can add to our list in terms of the gratitude being another form of acknowledgement. So I think that is a great I think that's a great point. So thank you for mentioning that. Chris Proud. Randy loves that idea, Chris. You're getting some accolades in the comments here because people like that idea. Um, Chris, thank you for your patience in my reply to your email from 2019. I am so not going to touch that one because I am one of those who finds emails and like, huh, where'd that come from? Ah, Claudia, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that these videos are helpful. Um, Thank you for saying that. Hey, good morning, Robin. Yep, I'm guilty too. It can become a bad habit. It absolutely can. And I mean, it's just something we rely on. Again, um, even if you don't think you're an over apologist, just look and see if you use these words as filler words. I mean, Robin's right. It becomes a bad habit just because it's easy to say I'm sorry, or hey guys, sorry I'm late, or hey, sorry I was on another call. Just say no, I'm joining a couple minutes late. Everybody knows it. There's no need to apologize for it. So I think you've heard some other good strategies this morning. Chris mentioned gratitude. So, thank you for your patience with my reply. That absolutely can fit in the acknowledgement column. Chris Rivera mentioned, looking at other comments coming in. Chris mentioned my bad. Yeah, put that on your buzzwords to avoid, right? The list of words to avoid is long, without question. But the key is replace apologizing with either acknowledgement or gratitude. That one word solution is what I want to give you this morning. I'm not asking you to change the way you speak or, do anything different. It's just a simple one word solution. Melissa says the more awareness we have about our communication, the better. I well said. I could not have said that any better. And I think what we've learned, Melissa, coming through this pandemic the past 2 years, I've had people say to me, well, I don't show up well on Zoom calls. I don't like Zoom calls. I don't have my camera on. Right. We've learned to really rely on distant communication, whether that's Zoom calls or emails, a lot more than maybe we did prior to the pandemic. So really being aware of how you communicate, that's like a video series I think we could do here about the importance of communication. And again, knowing how you land on people and how you are being perceived. That's where the credibility piece comes into this. Someone says, I agree the social construct has robo-trained us to operate with apologies, hence undermining a real apology when one is real. That's a great point. I'm going to put that back up just so people get, that's a great point. The social construct has robo-trained us. I think that is a great point. And because you're right, when it's real, when you actually maybe have a jerk moment, right? Or you have one of those, I really need to talk to you. I'm really sorry for what happened earlier. I love that comment. It does undermine a real apology when a real apology is actually happening. So that is, again, the perception and the credibility piece of how you're coming across. Will people believe you when you actually apologize? Because you apologize all the time. So I don't see, thank you, Melissa. Love it. Yeah, this is a great conversation. Thank you all for being here this morning. Oh, okay. I thank you, Sebastian. I see that. All right. Thank you. I saw LinkedIn user, but wasn't sure. So thank you for letting me know who you are. Listen, as always, I invite you to reach out to me after this conversation's over. I'm here every Monday and Thursdays, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 Central, 6:30 if you're on the West Coast. But you can reach out to me anytime. Again, like I said, this topic this morning came from someone who saw one of these live videos and reached out to me afterwards, and we had a great conversation and wanted to bring this topic forward. If you have topics you want me to address, please send those to me. You can certainly get on my website. You can message me on whatever social media platform. Obviously, my link is here that you want to get on a calendar and have a conversation. We can do that too. So, I see two more comments. Let me see these. If someone says something to me and I feel compelled to say sorry, I've just been saying got it and don't say anything else. That's acknowledgement. Got it is acknowledgement. I love that, Robin, and I think that very much fits in our words of okay to use versus the buzzwords to avoid. What would you recommend to say when someone passes away? Oh, okay. So, on the personal sense, Claudia, I I think a lot about this because you always say, I'm sorry for your loss. I think that's fine. I personally try not to use I'm sorry for your loss because I know everybody else is saying that. So I personally try to just acknowledge the loss has happened. Again, acknowledgement for me works. Acknowledge the loss has happened, and more importantly, acknowledge that they have memories that I hope will comfort them in the days and weeks and months ahead. So I try to stay away from the I'm sorry someone has passed, and again, one thing I'm going to say on this, Claudia, whole other ball of wax, happy to have this conversation offline. One thing I never say to people is, I know what you're going through because you don't. So when it comes to sort of that personal context, I try to stay away from the cliches of the I'm sorry or I know what you're going through, even if I do know. I try to stay away from that because I think everybody's pain and experience is very unique in that regard. So I try to go for the acknowledgement every time, even if it's a personal circumstance like that. Hey, good morning, Megan. Oh, I need this. Good to see you this morning, Megan. I'm excited that you are here. Randy, got it on my calendar for Monday and Thursdays. Awesome. Melissa, you are incredible. Love all your content, advice. Oh, thank you, Melissa. Love the advice content. Melissa says, I'm sorry for your loss is really helpful to actually hear having just lost someone. Okay, Melissa, I totally defer to you on that. I totally defer to you on that. I'm someone where I just try to stay away from that phrase. I mean, when my dad passed 2 years ago, I got the I'm sorry. I know what you're going through. And I just tend to think that I tend to come at that just a little differently. My answer to Claudia, I'm here for you. Yeah, Randy, that's a great. Randy, I'm going to bring that on screen. My answer to Claudia is I'm here for you. That's a great other way, or different way of saying I'm sorry. I love that. And Chris says, share a warm memory with me about this person. Yeah, I think there's a lot of way to convey your sentiment of sorrow and your sentiment of condolences and say it in different ways. So I think Randy has a great option there. Chris has a great option there. So you have a couple of different ways, Claudia, which I think you can, again, acknowledge. But if you feel more comfortable in the personal situation of saying that, I'm going to leave that to you. Sebastian says, please accept my sincere condolences. Wish you the strength in this difficult time. That works as well. Absolutely. There, as you're seeing, there's all kinds of different ways to, in this personal moment, in this one particular example, to show up differently. Eileen, yes, Eileen, you are here every Monday and Thursday, and I'm so grateful for you for that. Claudia, thank you for being here. And Melissa has another comment. I often say, may their angel wings enfold you now and forever. Thank you. That's a great, yeah, I've never heard that, Melissa, but I love that. I love the sentiment and the feeling behind that. All right. So we had a few more comments come in. I love this conversation. I hope it's been helpful for you. Like I said, reach out. I'm available to talk to you. I will see you back here on Monday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 Central, 6:30 on the West Coast. Again, if you have topics you want me to address on these lives, please send them my way. I would love nothing more to make sure I'm addressing topics that are timely for you, for where you are in your career journey. With that, I am going to leave you with a great Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon, and I will plan to see you on Monday.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long.